Sometimes when you're trying to interpret the processes that are impacting an area, it is useful to create a profile or a side view of a terrain. And so when you're given that task, you can double click on a location in Google Earth and it will take you to the river you're looking at. So here's the Mississippi River, and you can see these higher points in elevation are some of the, likely the valley walls. So you can create a pathway by clicking this button up here. And you can actually see there's another river here too, which is kind of cool. So we will click and then drag across the area that we want to create a profile for. And then we can call that something like Mississippi Pathway. And click OK. When you do that, that will appear over here. And to see what that looks like in sort of a cross-sectional view, you right click and then you go to Show Elevation Profile. There's a lot of noise in the Mississippi River, which is kind of interesting. So it'll also, as you travel along the profile, it'll show you where the red line is that corresponds to your location on the map. So in general, this is pretty flat. This is only about 100 feet, but what you can see is when you get closer to the Mississippi River, it drops down a little bit. There we actually are in the channel of the Mississippi River, but this whole area is a floodplain. You don't see any sort of a V-shaped valley like you would if the Mississippi River was far from its base level. The Mississippi River is very close to its base level. And then you can go to a place very different, like Golden, Colorado. So the location in Golden, Colorado actually already has a pathway that's been drawn for you. So if you double click here where it says Golden, then you go to the very bottom, you'll see that this is the pathway. And again, you right click and go to Show Elevation Profile, and what you see is very different here. First of all, it's much smoother. We're looking at a much smaller area, but secondly, you can see this deep V shape, which indicates that this river, which is right here on the Google Earth image, is actually pretty far from its base level, and so it's vertically down-cutting and creating a V-shaped valley. So it's nothing too crazy, but it's kind of a cool way to figure out what's going on in a landscape.